I'll follow up.
Okay, thank you.
What's up, Chase? Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm thinking.
Jeez. What's going on? Come on, man. Everything good? Well, you gonna try to make it down to that church Sunday?
Yeah, we.
Okay, good. Cool.
Let me know what time you're coming.
Okay, I got you.
Did you hear that conversation? Could be a lawsuit because they should have been planning not to do it.
Oh, you did? How'd you like it? It was good? Yeah. Definitely makes you be like, how come I ain't heard of this, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep. Yep. Hi, baby girl. Hey, I'm in a meeting. I'm literally in a board meeting about to start. I love you so much.
Take a quick look at it.
See, look. That's a lot of people, ain't it? All right, baby. I'll call you when it's over. Okay.
Read that comment. Mine messaged me.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Uh-huh. At least he tells you.
Yeah,
Mine kind of just goes at it.
that's pretty. He's got my credit card number memorized.
Oh, okay, okay.
I got the one. Okay. I just hit my knee.
I think it's the awards and recognitions, the city championships from the basketball.
Okay. Nice then. For this pack.
Yeah,
Must be
nah.
something bad.
I walked in, I was like, whoa.
Read the room.
Good evening. I would like to call the Peoria Public Schools Board of Education meeting to order for March 13th. Madam Secretary, will you please call a roll?
Mrs. Costick, Mr. Claus, Mrs. McConnell,
Here.
Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Dr. Ranking,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
President Ross.
Here.
We have 7 present.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sensible.
Thank you. I want to recognize our the bulletin board for 2 of our schools, Peoria High, Lions,
Yeah.
and Dr. Maud Sanders over here. All right. Thank you. Are there any announcements?
Yes, President Ross, I have one.
Okay.
Chess Championship. In collaboration with the Peoria Federation of Teachers, Mark Bills Middle School is hosting a chess championship this Saturday, March 18th, for kindergarten through 12th grade Peoria Public School students. Check in at 8 o'clock a.m. and the entry fee is $1. There is still time to register at pftd150chess.com. Don't miss this opportunity to be named the district's chess champion.
Thank you. Mr. Kloss, do you have an announcement?
Peoria Promise applications are open now until May 15th for students interested in attending ICC. Peoria Promise applications will also be accepted for residents of West Peoria. For more information, visit peoriapromise.org.
Thank you. Ms. McConnell?
And welcome, everyone. Spring break will be Monday, March 27th until Monday, April 10th. Spring intercession will be from March 27th through the 31st from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 or 8:30 to 3:30, depending on your school site.
Thank you. Mrs. Costick?
Kindergarten Roundup. It's almost time to register for kindergarten. Kindergarten Roundup will be on Saturday, April the 29th at the Glen Oak Zoo from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. That's on Saturday, April 29th. Thank you.
Peoria Grow Your Own. The Peoria Grow Your Own application window opens this Wednesday, March 15th. Peoria Grow Your Own has helped local individuals to continue their education, get their teacher's license, and become great public school teachers. Their support includes mentoring, academic and financial support, and a cohort of other aspiring teachers of color. Head to psd150.org/GYO to apply.
5 Essential Survey. The 5 Essential Survey is available now until March 31st for all parents, students, and teachers to give your valuable feedback on Peoria Public Schools. The survey can be found at tinyurl.com/myppssurvey or on your school's webpage.
Thank you. Whittier's Dual Language Activity Night. This Tuesday, March 14th, Whittier Primary is hosting a dual language activity night. Stop by anytime between 3:45 and 6 p.m. to enjoy activities, music, dancing, fun, and food with the dual language team. All Whittier students are welcome, along with any dual language students from the district.
Thank you. And I have Parent University postponed. The Parent University has been postponed from March 23rd to May 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Riverplex, and more information will be coming. Dr. Karat, do you have one? No? Okay, thank you. Awards and recognition. Peoria High girls basketball just went out. Dr. Coleman?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm going to be brief. I'm going to introduce my coach, but I just want to say a couple things. Again, shout out to that bulletin board over there from Miss Suggs. She put that up there, so very impressed with that. Then secondly, this is Women in History Month, and I want to just shout out that our young ladies here made history. I told them this earlier. They made history. This is the first time in Peoria High School history that our girls have made it to state. And we've been in existence since 1856. So
Wow.
that means this is real history. So very proud of them. There are several other statistics to share, but I will turn that over to our coach, Coach Michi Edwards.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, board, for having us here tonight. It's a very amazing moment for us throughout the whole season. These young ladies, before I even talk about the basketball accolades, I'm going to talk about academics. You know, one of the things we always preach about is being a student athlete. You can't get out there on their hardwood and be able to be an athlete student. It's kind of tough to be able to do that. You can't get the grades to be able to play. But this team right behind me has a grade point average of 3.97. Thank you, Dr. Brown. They work really extremely hard in the classroom, in the hallways, in the community. I'm thrilled to have these young ladies with me. Throughout the summer, we've set goals, and a lot of them since their freshman year. We have these little cards we made up every time they come in as freshmen. You get the opportunity to play at the varsity level. And we just talk about certain things that you want to do throughout your life and what you want to do as far as with basketball. And it was amazing how we brought those back up, and we all read them back out loud as we was going to state. And it's amazing how we reached every goal that we set from the time they were freshmen to the time they were seniors. So this team here is just absolutely amazing. They won 4 years in a row, all conference, regional, two out of the last 4 years. We made a state. We went super sectional, sectional. Had a lot of trophies and plaques I've never witnessed before as a coach, as far as the head coach. But it's just absolutely amazing. Each one of these individuals is not only just my players, but they have a special part in my heart. And I just really thank God for them. And I'm hoping you guys had an opportunity to watch them play. They work really, really hard to deal with me every single day. And seriously, I am tough. I have zero tolerance for negative behavior. We always talk about positive. You can't come through those doors and have positive remarks and be a positive outside the community and being role models for the youth. You can't be part of my team. And these young ladies here fulfilled everything I asked them to do, and they taught me a whole lot. Coaching girls basketball made me a better dad for my daughters. My best. She's my assistant coach. It's her first year. And she's the one always like, Dad, no, we're not doing that. Like, she had challenged me. And I just want to tell her thank you in front of all you guys. They work really, really, really hard to make everything smooth for me. Destiny Edwards. LaCorsica Metz is my other assistant. Where you at, Metz? One of my former players. Unbelievable. When she played for me, she was crafty. It happened during the time when Woodruff closed. So I was awfully lucky, and I thank God I got an opportunity to get her. So thank you for closing Woodruff. But she has a very special part in my heart. She is. Seriously, she's amazing. Awesome young lady. I'm grown as a coach. This is her first year as well. I just thought it was really, really critical to have someone around me that was part of the family, and that's so big. I understand what I really, truly want out of these young ladies in life. And this is LaCorsica Metz. I love you. My other top assistant, she's not here, which is my wife. That's the head honcho. It might seem I get all the glory and all the recognition, but behind the scenes, she does a whole lot of work. But she's at home taking care of the baby, doing a project for school tomorrow. But that's just who we are as individuals. I'm hoping to continue to keep allowing them to grow as individuals. So, keep a close eye on them through the near future. They work really, really hard. I got a lot of juniors coming back. I got 2 freshmen, 3 seniors leaving. I will go down the line, but it'll take a little bit longer because I get all teary-eyed, so I'm going to try to, skip that part there. But this is an amazing group here. We got a phenomenal city. I love you, Arsenio. That's my boy. That's my other assistant. All right. But we truly do. We had great support from pride of the city. Unbelievable principal, Dr. Coleman. Unbelievable Ms. Suggs. She does it all. She lets you know the truth. But I just want to tell you guys, thank you very much for allowing us to come here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are you going to introduce the players?
I wanted to.
Please.
You want me to?
Please.
Okay, now, y'all better have some tissue. All right, no long story, Dr. Kumar. All right.
No,
Number
just her
one,
name.
Nyasha Rutherford. She's a junior. When Nyasha first came, I've been knowing her forever. I coached her sister. I'm making a long story short. Dr. Coleman told me to keep it short. But it was just amazing. I was coaching her sister, like her sister's senior year. That was her last game, and she came up to me with the little pigtails and tapped me on my leg and told me, Coach, one day I'm going to play for you. Now look at her. You know, I mean, she's a big part of our team. She's unbelievable. She's one of those kids that really opened up. She was really, truly quiet. It's one of the things her mom continued to tell, because she won't talk. She won't do this. I'm going to get her to talk before it's all said and done. Now she's talking more than ever. She's enjoying life, and she's enjoying everything. That's Nyasha Rutherford. Serena Winters. Serena Winters, one of our seniors. Unbelievable. Does a lot of things and practicing during the game. Never give you a headache. Always go hard. Always trying to figure out, always asking questions. She wasn't for sure about something. She's one of those kids that makes everyone else better around her. Got a lot better throughout her years. And I just thank God for Serena Winters. Thank you. Now, Simone Jackson out here, she had a track meet tonight. Okay, but Simone, that's one of my sophomores. She did very, very well as well. Hey, Danielle Ruffin. As that name speaks for herself, Ruffins, you already know. She's coming hard. She really blossomed this year. Unbelievable. At the beginning of the year, it was just amazing how humble she truly was. I mentioned that on celebration night. But I came to her and we were just talking about starting getting in the rotation, and she basically told me, hey, Coach, I need to get acclimated with a little bit more and understand the system just a little bit more. And I tell you what, we made a deal by the time Christmas, a little bit after Christmas. Should you be ready? She said yes. And I tell you what, she was really ready, guys. That's Danielle Ruffin. Denali Craig Edwards. This is my daughter. Unbelievable. Works extremely hard. Just remember freshman year, the pandemic hit and all that good stuff. She had a pretty decent freshman year, 4 years, all conference titles and all that good stuff. But we talked about, you got to transform. If you want to be that elite player, you got to really work hard. You got to get out and you got to run. You got to do all the extra things. I'm only going to give you the blueprint. You got to take it all the way and do it all the way yourself. And I tell you what, I promise you, I came home every day. She's out running the community, just running, working on a game. I didn't have to say anything. So that's just the type of person she is. I mean, after we won sectional, she's back home getting faxing her paper into her professor. I mean, that's just who she is. And I'm like, girl, you ain't going out and celebrate. Dad, I got to get this in. What are you talking about? That's my baby. So I've learned a lot from her, and I just thank God. Denali Craig Edwards. Aaliyah Guyton. Unbelievable. One of the best scorers I ever coached, to be perfectly honest. Unbelievable. When she was a freshman, her lip used to stick out. We talked about that. If things didn't go right, lip would poke out. But I tell you what, when things went wrong this year, she made sure that lip stayed in and she went even harder. She was just unbelievable. Hit big shots, as you guys know about this shot against Notre Dame. And I had a lot of people ask me on landmarks I'm working out, did that count? I said, did they count it? Yeah, it counted. But that's just the type of person she is. She's always willing to make herself better in her teams as well. Aaliyah Guyton. Elois Patrick Elo. That's her nickname. She's a freshman. Came a long way. Don't say nothing. Just tell me, Coach, I got a doctor's appointment. Coach, I got this. I can't make it to practice. Okay. You better be there. And I tell you what, she came. And at the end of the season, I mean, she was really enjoying herself, worked extremely hard. Always asking, how do I get better in my jump hook? I'm working on her shot. Shot got extremely better. I just had to keep her around. She's long, as you guys see. I think her future is really high and bright, but an awesome student. She's really grown, and the elder people back here, they did a very good job teaching her, and she really appreciate that. Elois Patrick. Trinity Childs. This Miss Crafter, I mean, she does a lot. I mean, if you need any shirts made or anything of that nature, she does a whole lot. And she's very, very crafty. Trinity works really, really hard. Trinity next year she's going to attend Parkland Junior College. People don't realize that. But when I got to explain to them, when you have a good program, you got good people just come. No, but she was a star at the beginning, kind of went back and forth, but never pouted, kept working hard, knew what it meant to be a teammate. And you know what? She ended up getting her scholarship to go to Parkland, Trinity Childs. Alana Axon Jackson. She's unbelievable. I asked her to do a lot of things, guys. Guard the team, guard people that's 6'3", 6'4", as you guys see doing our state run. Guard the team best player. Finish around the bucket. She can finish right, left, however you want it. Always going hard. Got knots on her head still. Coach, I'm okay. No, we need to sub you. Coach, I'm okay. She's just one of those type of kids that you just love being around. Works extremely hard, makes her teammates better, and she's one of our captains as well. Very vocal. She made numerous suggestions to me, Coach, I think we should do this, not that. And I like to call myself a player's coach. Okay, let's run with that then. Let's do that. And she was right. 90% of the time, she was right. Don't you agree? A lot of Jackson. Kennedy Smith. It's another freshman. At the beginning of the year, Kennedy was all eager. She was, Coach, I could do it. I'm not worried about practicing with varsity. I could do it. Second week, Coach, I want to go home. Coach, this is very, very hard. But Kennedy finally understood what hard work really meant. And it's not just about the game of basketball, about how you carry yourself throughout the building, throughout life. Some things is not going to be as good as they're supposed to be, but you got to figure your way out. And that's what Kennedy did for the remainder of the season. At the end of the season, she was running sprints like the best of them and wasn't complaining at all, understood what it took to be a winner. I always ask, are you enjoying yourself? Yeah, Coach, I love this. So this was the type of kids what we do have, so the future is bright for her as well. Kennedy Smith. That's all I have, Ms. Ross.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Are any of the parents present?
Yes.
Parents, please stand up. Let's recognize you as well.
And thank you guys for the 16 buses you got for us. That was
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you.
Dr. Coleman, did you have anything else? Oh, she's getting a picture. All right. Thank you so much. And up next, the Rich Woods boys varsity basketball team recognition. Mr. Robinson. William Robbins. Is that him up there now? Principal Robinson. Can you start this off like you do when you call everybody? Go!
I can, but you won't want me standing next to the mic. I promise you that.
All right. You're really loud.
I appreciate that. All right, good evening, and thank you for the chance to honor the accomplishments of our coaches and our student athletes. Coach Smith just finished his 13th year, and the most impressive thing to me is the character that he instills in our young student athletes. The athletes are better because of the program, and the program is better because of the athletes, and that is all due to his leadership. So without further ado, Coach Will Smith.
First, I do want to thank the board for having us here. Completely honored and humbled to be here along with the Peoria High girls, just to honor us and the season that we had this year. As Mr. Robinson just said, and the support we get from our school made all these things possible. Anytime we had issues, they backed us 100%. They were always there for us. They were road warriors. No matter if we were in Danville, we were in Rockford, we always had our support team. Our family supported us all year long and supported everything we did and asked of our athletes. I'm not going to stand and hold too much court. I do want to thank my assistant coaches, starting with my teammate. We played back together in 1996, 97. He was a young freshman. He came on staff 5 years ago. We had always talked about when he came home from California that we would come together again as teammates, and that's my assistant coach, Jeff Richards. And we like to keep it all family. I went and got the guy that got me started in basketball and gave me that head start to make me feel like I was able to play at a certain level. I went and got my oldest cousin. That's also my assistant coach, Carl Taylor. And then everything is always about growing the next generation. I watched this guy coach for 2 years at Rolling Acres, very young. I didn't know how young he was. I just knew he was young. Just a young guy. He was coaching Rolling Acres fresh out of Manual High School. That's my freshman coach, Brian Johnson. So, and like I said, we're honored to be here. I know we had a great season. It didn't end the way we wanted to, but we ended in the Sweet 16, and now we had that accomplishment. The only team that beat us was a team that won state. We fought them all the way down, tooth and nail, to the end of the road. But everything started with us back around this time last year, these guys coming in the gym at 5:30 a.m. And putting in the work to necessarily be what they are and what they became. Very hard workers. We talk about integrity, responsibility, and accountability, and they hold each other to that same standard. And we definitely plan on making that work happen again. All season long, top 15 ranked in the state. Finished the season state ranked number 8. Got as high as 5. Finished the season 25-6. We were 7-1 against city opponents, so we won the city. So we did everything. We accomplished everything we wanted to. We put a new banner up at Richwoods. It hasn't been one up there in 13 years, and we're going to put one up this year for their accomplishments as well. But that's due to these guys behind me that I'm going to introduce here in a second. So I'm going to start with the younger guys. I'm going to have them step up as we come. We call him Little Steve. Caden Johnson came in. He's a freshman, and he was not afraid of the work. He probably wanted to get moved up a lot sooner than he did, but he's hung in there, and he came in right away and started fighting and fighting for spots and fighting for minutes. And we look for big things in the future out of Caden Johnson, our freshman, Little Steve.
All right.
Not sure. I'm going to call out names. I'm not sure who all behind me. And I'm going to go with the sophomores, Truman Rahir. Big sophomore here, stepped up all season long. He plays golf. He plays tennis as well. What else did you do? That's it. All right, yeah, golf. Last year he played baseball. Truman gonna try it all, but at the end of the day, if you want a guy that's gonna go out there and run through a wall for you, this is Truman right here for you. Thank you, Truman. The next one is a pleasant surprise that came in the gym this year, Darren McClendon. As you see, he got tremendous size. He developed all year long. Hard worker, first in sprints. We got on that track. He was always 1 through 5. His mom told me, she said, Coach, whatever you do to him, it ain't going to be more than I'm going to do to him at home. And she did not lie because Darren would go all day long. So definitely appreciate that work, and they are still adding their children, and it allows us to push them further. But this is Darren McClendon, our sophomore.
All right.
The next one I'm going to call up is Marlon Peanut Heron. Marlon has been around. I've been knowing Marlon since, I don't know, for a long time, a really long time. And he comes in with this smile that you see right here. That's Marlon. But he's going to put the work in. He was there every day from the day he transferred in this summer in June. He's been there every morning putting in the hard work. We look for big things out of Marlon Heron. the big junior class, starting, where we at? Start with Kylan Ross. Been in the program for 3 years. Kylan practiced hard all year long. Came to practice, was never an issue in the hallway. Great guy, great character, great integrity. This is Kylan. As I introduce, I'm not gonna go kind of quick, but as I introduce the sophomore, the juniors, we always call them our COVID babies. These guys came in during COVID. I don't know if everybody remember that, but we couldn't practice. So we were outside on the track just so we keep our social distance. They were on the track all summer long, and then you can go back in the gym. Was in the gym for a week, back to nothing at all, and then we finally got that break in the season. So these juniors are really accomplished, and they really started that fight and that hard grind through that offseason of being the COVID babies. The next one is Tyrese Carter. Call him Cousin Carter. Tyrese is the champion. Another one. I'm gonna sound like Michi in a second. Everything I said about the last guy goes for the next guy. We don't have issues, and as Mr. Robinson said, that's due to these guys, not me. Just the character that's instilled by their parents, the hard work they have. It's not a single guy behind me that won't run through a wall. It's not a single guy that's going to complain. They're going to complain about it, but they're going to get it done at the end of the day. And they're going to get it done in the hallways and in the classroom as well. So I'm not going to stand up there and keep repeating it, but this is Tyrese Carter, one of our juniors. Another junior, Jalen McFadden. We're going to go quicker now. Quick story about Jalen. Jalen dislocated his knee at the beginning of summer. He did not want to miss a day. Swore he could play. We put him in the tournament. Jalen couldn't walk down the court. But he continued to battle, and he battled all season long. He hit some big shots for us during the season. We put him in. He knocked down some last-second threes before quarters. So this is Jalen McFadden. Bring up Nick Louderman. Nick, the three-point specialist, the shooter, definitely gets it done. He battled sinus issues, all kind of other health issues, but he was there when he could be and got to work when we needed to. We were looking for big things out of Nick in the future. Nick Louderman. Javen Moore, number 11. Javen has some of the best highlights I've seen in high school basketball. Been around it for 25 years. Culminated one of our biggest rivalries. He finished that game off with a thunderous dunk. We had many more during the season. Super athletic, also a football player, and definitely looking to take his game to the next level, Javen Moore. J.D. Etherly. J.D., the baby of the group, this is the pretty boy. Definitely, if you've seen the Rich Woods TikTok, J.D. started it and kept it going. But definitely a hard worker. Definitely, he's getting better every single day in the classroom. More have been holding him accountable, raising his standards and how he wants to be more of an athlete, student athlete, not just an athlete. But he's definitely a big part of what we got going on in the future. But here's J.D. Etherly. Tavy, nephew Smith. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, this kid came out of nowhere for us, and just tremendous over the last 2 years. Has been a big foundation. Super humble. You barely get him to say 3 words. When I heard him talk on the news, it was the first time I really heard him speak out like he did. That's what I'm talking about. But definitely a big part of our future. Got a whole lot of personal accolades, but we want to keep this team focused. But Tavy is definitely a big part of that future and what we had going this year, and more part of that coming up next year. Thank you, Tavy Smith. Jared 5 Jackson. Jared probably is really a 3-year varsity player. He was COVID baby, so he couldn't play up to varsity his freshman year because they played at the same time. But Jared's been a big integral part. He pretty much, with a couple of the seniors, was the only one that played varsity last year. To come back from a roster that we finished off with 9 of those guys graduated, he came back and took the role as team leader, teamwork, and never complains. No matter how much I get on him, they like to joke about my leg kick. He was privy to a lot of that, yelling that during games, but always responded in a positive way. A beautiful young man with a bright future in front of him, Jared Jackson. I'm going to go to the seniors. These guys have been there for us day one. We start with Nehemiah Mason. Big shot, Nehemiah. Kid came to us at the beginning of the season and just wanted the opportunity to play basketball again. Came in, besides everything in the past, and just put it behind him, and came in and started ground zero and worked for what he got. Definitely a great story this year. That 5 overtime game, he hit one of the biggest shots that put us in that overtime, and his reaction after that was beautiful. And just being a part of the team and just seeing this guy smile from when he came in. And to be a part of something, and be a part of something great. And we're blessed to have Nehemiah this year, Nehemiah Mason. '24, the heart and soul, Sabri Khatun. Another Sabri, great. Started off the season, as soon as he got out of football, staples in his head, he out for 3 weeks. Comes back off of that, gets elbowed over the top of the eye, out for another 2 weeks. So he started off a lot of real rocky his senior year, but he's a fighter. And there's nothing else you can say about him. When we always talk about it, we list him at 6 foot, but he's every bit of 5'10". But when he's on the court, you wouldn't tell the difference, because he was going to give it all his battle. And he really is the heart and soul of what Richwoods basketball is about. That integrity, that heart, and that character, and just playing no matter who that battle is against, we going against it with our full heart. And this is Sabri Khatun.
All right.
Greg Gene Burnside. Y'all gonna know a little different. He trimmed off the hair for us. If y'all don't recognize him, he had the fro. He just cut his fro off. But Greg was also team captain for football, the quarterback 2 years in a row. 2 years, and he also was one of those guys with football. He was still coming in at 5:30 a.m. He would come to 5:30 and then go to football practice in the summer, and then would come back later on in the evening for more workouts. When I talk about our senior class, he mentioned that work ethic they did, because they never backed away from the work, and they always made sure everybody was available for work. And Greg is a big part of that. He did all the unsung things, but he was never an unsung hero in our eyes. We attribute a lot of our success to Greg Burnside. And last but not least, Markel Deuce Newsom. I won't retell the story. We told it yesterday. But Markel is the epitome of patience. This guy been wanting it for 3 years. Coming to the gym, he wanted to be the varsity starter his freshman year. He wanted to be the varsity starter his sophomore year. He wanted to be the varsity starter his junior year. And it was always, Kel, you got to wait your turn. You got to keep learning and keep growing. And unbeknownst to us, he was learning, growing, and getting better every single day. And he was the leader of this team this year in all aspects of it. And can't help but wait to see what he has in the future in store for him as a leader, as a person, and as a basketball player. We can't thank these guys behind me enough for what they brought to Richwoods and bringing that pride back to Richwoods, and also, hopefully bringing pride back to Peoria for what we do and what we stand for. So we want to thank you again, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
She's too close. Looks like. All right, thank you. Are there any parents present? Parents of the students, are there any parents present? Please stand. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, next on our agenda is the Boys Basketball City Champions recognition. AJ Guyton. Mr. Guyton?
You ready? Well, congratulations to those guys. I mean, my boys, my middle school guys, y'all, you want to try this next week or you want to follow them up? Because that's a lot, all right? I want to follow them up or y'all want to do this right now? I'm joking with you guys. You guys no, that was great. First, we're going to start with middle school boys basketball city champions. Dr. Karat, President Ross, and members of the board, we are here to present the 2023 boys basketball city champions. We just concluded my year two of Pure Public Schools middle school boys basketball, and it was our most successful season to date. First, I want to congratulate our third place JV winners, Reservoir Gifted Academy, and also our third place varsity winner, the Sterling Jaguars. Before we get to the players and the coaches and the administration, first, thanks goes out to my partner, Assistant AD Blake Johnson, on his irreplaceable contribution to middle school athletics. My staff for events like the Jamboree and the city tournament include Mr. Johnson, my wife, Alicia Guyton, mother, Rhonda Ruffin, Blake's wife, Aaliyah Johnson, Aaliyah Guyton, and Michelle Jones Douglas. They did a great job of providing support throughout and to help us operate as the games were going on. I'd also like to thank Principal Arnold Spiker and the Woodruff custodial staff, Mason Todd, Scott Campbell, Chris Reese, and Peggy Gray, for all their hard work and extra hours to help grow middle school sports and offer special opportunities in the building for our student athletes. Middle school sports is really blossoming. Our games are packed. Thanks to Mr. Josh Collins, bus transportation and communication has been stabilized, and our students seem to enjoy competing in the various activities. Forfeits have dropped from down. We had 15 forfeits last year, and we're down to 6 this year. So we're really getting our kids into gyms. Our principals and our coaches are doing a great job of making sure the kids play their games, and that's the start of trying to rebuild middle school athletics. We hope to get that number down to 0 next year. Middle school athletes is still on an upward trend for the second year in a row, and we're excited about that. My assistant athletic director here, Blake Johnson, will read off the boys basketball city champions.
Good evening, Dr. Karat, President Ross, and board members. We are here to present the 2023 boys basketball city champions, starting with the junior varsity city champions, the Von Steuben Vikings. The Vikings were the tournament's #1 overall seed, finished the regular season National League champions with a record of 10-0 and an overall record of 16-0. The Vikings defeated Reservoir Gifted Academy in the semifinals with a 40-35 win. In the championship game, they defeated the Elise Ford Allen Academy Riders 45-27. When I call you, could you guys please step up? The Vikings were led by Principal Ann Nevitt, head coach Wesley Weatherspoon, assistant coach O.J. Skinner, assistant coach Corey Scott, now for our players, we have Zaire Bush, KJ Lobdell, Jair Hunter, Karan Alexander, Carmelo Hearns, and the JV National League Player of the Year, Kingston Weatherspoon. Please give a big round of applause for your 2023 Junior Varsity Boys Basketball City Champions, the Von Steuben Vikings. I'll let Coach say a few words here.
Hello, everybody. Hello. All right, I want to thank y'all for the recognition of my boys. Like I did with my girls, we only had 6. And like I said, I pushed them to the limit. They did it in the classroom. They did it on the court. So with that being said, I want to shout out my teachers at Vaughn, Ann Nevitt, my assistant coaches, everybody who helped out and got them where they needed to be. I appreciate that. And what makes this group special to me is my son. Also, too, this was a group when A started the primary basketball thing at the Y. This was the same team. And they were like in fourth grade playing for Hines. So they come from Hines to Von Steuben, and this is what you get with a little hard work. All right, so that's it.
Any of the students' parents of it? Are any of your parents here?
Oh, yeah. Stand up, man.
To the parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. A little hard work and a great coach that's motivating and inspiring them. Thank you.
All right.
Great job this season, fellas. And now, this year's varsity winner, the Rolling Acres Cougars.
All right.
The Cougars were the #1 overall seed, finished the regular season American League champions with a division record of 10-0 and an overall record of 16-0. The Rolling Acres Cougars defeated the Glen Oak Chargers 49-25 in the semifinal. The Cougars faced the Elise Ford Allen Academy Riders in the championship game and won in a high-scoring game, 69-56. The Cougars were led by Principal Michael Barber, Head Coach Alvin Riley, and now for the players, Jeremiah Mason, Donald Ford, Raphael Junjavilli, Lathan Wilson, Daquan Matthews, Ace Hawks, Jaden Richter, Mason Beshoner, Demarion Shorty, Orlando Edwards, and the Varsity American League Player of the Year, Rico Booker. Once again, here's your 2023 Varsity Boys Basketball City Champions, the Rolling Acres Cougars. Forgot one player, excuse me, Ezekiel Albert.
All right, Ezekiel. Will these kids' parents please stand? All right. Thank you.
Real quick, I want to thank the board, our superintendent, our board, and everyone that's here. I really want to send a shout out to our school, our principal. One thing we pushed hard was basketball is not the end. It's the beginning of learning how to network, how to become a team, but most of all, work in the class very, very hard because we want to push you not just looking at the game as, something we play, but we want you to understand that you can earn a scholarship, you push yourself, you challenge yourself, you reach for the stars. The sky is the limit, and I'm awesome thankful for the principal that we have and the staff we have continue to push these children. God bless y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Barber, did you have anything you want to add? You've been at this for a while.
No, that's true. So we had a great season. Our kids were fun to watch. In my time at Rolling Acres, I've had 2 kids dunk the ball, and one was this year a 7th grader, so that was pretty impressive to see a 7th grader dunk. But what Mr. Riley was talking about, to me, basketball and the actual game of it, that's great, but it's really the life lessons that he really is teaching them on a daily basis. When I hired Mr. Riley as the coach, I was having an issue with the student. I said, hey, can you talk with him? He brought him in his office. We had about a 15-minute conversation with the three of us. I let that student go back, and just the way he interacted with that student, the way he communicated with that student, the way he connected with that student, I looked at Mr. Riley and said, "You're hired," because he just really has a great connection with kids. He just has a love and a care for kids throughout the day, no matter where he is in the building. So it's just great. It's great to see these kids grow. and
That's what it
develop as
takes,
well.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. it
Thank
does.
you.
So thank you so much.
Anything else, Ms. Ross?
No, that's it.
Thank
Unless
you.
you have
Thank you,
something
guys.
else. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Great job.
We'll give you a few minutes before we go to the next agenda item. Okay. Oh, that's what he just did. Both of them. He just did Von Steuben and Roosevelt. Okay, next on our agenda is the Peoria Public Schools 2022 Those Who Excel honorees. Volunteer of the Year, Dr. Karat, would you like to take that?
Yes, I would be
Okay.
happy to. President Ross, Vice President Murphy, and board and staff and guests. This is such a beautiful meeting this evening. It's all about celebrating our students, encouraging them around, they have a great future ahead of them, they're talented, and we're recognizing what they're doing. So this is beautiful. All of the principals, Dr. Coleman, Mr. Robinson, Coach Guyton, and all of the coaches that's working with them and guiding them. Makes me feel very, very good. And remember, we've only just begun, before I get into our celebration, because I'm going to continue that. But it makes me feel very, very good as superintendent, because we talked about when I first got here, and it's taken a while, but we're getting traction, reinvigorate our athletic programs. And we brought in Coach Guyton, and I asked him to start working at the primary level, then get up to the middle school level and help revitalize that. And you're seeing, he talked about the jamboree. I've been to a number of jamborees, and they're like hundreds of parents and lots of activities and excitement, getting kids not only playing basketball, soccer, baseball, and just rebuilding that because it's just languished over time. So that's coming back, and it will continue to produce results for us. So athletics, I'm excited about. You've challenged me as well, board, around arts and rebuilding that as well, and we're doing that too, and a lot of other things, academics. So I'm really, really excited about PPS and the progress that we're making as it relates to reimagining our work, doing things differently, and which is our vision. So that's very, very exciting. So as I continue with the celebration, we have some amazing individuals to recognize under the those who excel category, and if you get this award, you're pretty amazing. And these individuals that are going to be recognized this evening at our last board meeting, remember we recognized three, and we've sort of divvied it up because there are three categories, right? By three categories. So they have made a significant contribution, not only to PPS, but really to our city, our entire city, and then a peer or a staff member or someone within PPS system recognize the quiet, great work that they're doing, and nominated them for this award with Illinois State Board of Education, and they were selected. So the first one is Volunteer of the Year, and it goes to Meg Tomlins. And this awardee takes an active role in helping Lights On. I have heard about this person for quite some time, but this person helps with the Lights On after-school program. She supervises, implements programming over the weekend. She truly has a desire and willingness to support our students. She gives monetary resources. She gives a lot of her time, specifically, and this is Volunteer of the Year, right? She has donated her personal funds to feed our students. She is well known for her work ethic, and these are what the individual said about her in the nomination. Her work ethic, they liked her positive attitude, her teamwork mentality, her leadership, her diligence, and just the amazing resources that she was able to provide to this grant. Because with the grant, you cannot provide, our grant dollars does not allow for purchase of food. So that's where our volunteer came in. She is well respected throughout the Lights On program for her consistency, and the students and staff, they know that she will come to the program and give support. Everything she does, it's with a smile. They wrote a warm interaction and tirelessness. Meg Tomlins is the very definition of those who excel. I could think of no one more deserving of this honor. That's what they wrote. So, congratulations to Meg Tomlins for being named our 2023 Volunteer of the Year.
2022 Volunteer of the Year.
2023, this year.
Oh, it says 22.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, thank you. Is she here, Halima? Nope, okay. Then can we make sure she receives? Okay. Dr. G? Dr. G. Okay, perfect. Dr. G talks a lot about her, because Dr. G's the champion for Lights On. So then there's a runner-up, and it's Grandma Rose. This person was first a part of the grandparents program pre-COVID at CT Vivian, and now comes every day as a volunteer at CT Vivian. The students get so excited when she shows up, and they call it a Grandma Day. She loves to help students who need extra help, whether it's academics or socially or anything in between. She listens, she speaks to them, and she's a great asset to the classroom. During COVID, she helped her principal deliver many assignments, and they did a drive-by graduation as well. So why don't you come up and is Grandma Rose with you? Okay, we'll have our principal Berger come up. I can't believe how much your little girl has grown as well. So let's celebrate Grandma Rose. So Ms. B, you want to say some things about, and I'll help with it.
Yes, we love Grandma Days at CTV every day that we see Grandma coming in. So we're very lucky to have her in our kindergarten class. And with her cooperating teacher here, Miss Roth, we're going to let Miss Roth talk, who nominated Miss Grandma.
I'll have a speech, Grandma. I have worked with Grandma for 8 years. And I have never met someone so amazing in my life. I started my first year, and I didn't even know we had grandparents program. And now Grandma comes twice a week, and she volunteers, and it's the most incredible time I've ever had. And I was talking to my students today because we did a writing for her, and I was like, my parents and my brother and my family would be so mad at me because this right here is my favorite person ever. So thank you, Grandma, for all that you do.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh. I'm going to make it short, make it sweet, because I got so many people to be thankful for. Oh, Paris and Smile over there. She's been a sister to me. My pastor over there. Mrs. Berger, Mrs. Heibecker is not here. My children that always encourage me to get to the school. I tell you, I am so fortunate. Although I have, let me see, eight grandchildren, three, I'm a great grandma, but all of District 150 children, from the lowest to the highest, because I watched them go. At CT Vivian, excuse me, I had dental work, and sometimes the words just don't come fast
That's all
enough
right.
like I
That's
want
okay.
to.
You're fine.
District 150 kids, I tell you, I'm so rich to have all those grandkids. Even my children say, how was your grandkids? And I know who they talking about because I see the ones that I have all the time. But I want to thank so many people to make this happen. Mrs. Berger, Mrs. Heibecker, the principal and vice principal at the school, and their staff, all the teachers, they make it so easy for me to constantly keep coming back. And I'm just happy about it. Thank you for
Thank
this,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, what else next?
And this is for you. Your own poster. You're famous.
Thank you, CT Vivian and the staff and Grandma Rose. So the next category will be Team of the Year. And so we have a winner and we have a runner-up. So the award goes to Justice Advocates. Now, this team was created for the purpose of improving graduation rates and long-term outcomes for our students who had become involved in the justice system. The team members obtained baseline data of the students, such as student demographics, graduation credits, on-track status, employment status, what the court is expecting the kids to do, because again, they're there to help kids who are involved with the criminal justice system, and any other information that's needed. They work with each student to explore future aspiration and to talk about goals, completing high school. They have a positive impact on students socially in assisting them with developing positive relationships, becoming trusted adults in the lives, they're trusted adults in the lives of the students. They're motivating the kids to achieve their goals and connecting with the kids socially, emotionally, and academically as well. So they're kind of like a mentor, a parent. The team currently works with 152 students. 67% of their students have not had a recidivism or have not been criminally reoffended. So that's good. They're in the straight and narrow road. The justice advocates have reduced the barriers of our students who have been in the juvenile justice system, and they've helped a lot of the kids, all of those kids, to turn their lives around and go on to be successful and productive members of society. So congratulations to the Justice Advocate team for being named our 2023 Team of the Year. Team of the Year. It says runner-up. Team of the Year. So I'm going to ask, so the lead Justice Advocates, Ms. Marbury, will come up and you will make a few remarks and then you will introduce your team members. Talk about maybe how long we've had this idea. They're housed at the Wraparound Center. It's very innovative, very different. We get a lot of districts who are wanting to replicate this work. It's
it's working, right? So go ahead and take it away. We appreciate you and the team. Congratulations.
Thank you all, to the board, everyone here, Dr. Karat. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Dr. Booth, and now Dr. Bell, who is our new supervisor. We've been in this for 4 years now. We started in 2019. We've had, I believe, 3 justice advocates who have gone on to pursue other careers, and this is the wonderful team that I work with now. To my near left is Mr. Corbin Parker. Next to him is Michael Greer, Kel Young, Alicia Scott, and Miss Emily Walls. We want to thank you all for allowing us to be here. Thank you for letting us do this. And we are excited about the lives that we know for a fact that we change lives. We know that we're making a difference. And so we want to thank you all for trusting and believing in us. Thank you.
Halima, can we get one for each one of them? Yeah, so that each one of you will have your own. Does that sound like a? Yes.
I was getting ready to come over here and say, oh, let me get
Yeah, I know, come and get your photos. What are some quick key takeaways, though? I mean, key highlights. What have you learned from this innovative Justice Advocates program? We know there are 152 kids on your caseload. You go to court with them, you help them get back in school. You've got a lot of them back enrolled so that they can graduate. What else would you like to share with the board?
Well, what I would like to share with the board is, kids make mistakes. As humans, we all make mistakes. But some of these kids just believe once that mistake is made, that life is completely done. The job that we do, the interactions that we have with these students, to build their self-esteem back up, to let them know that there's other avenues out here in life, that their life is not over and it's just beginning. Yes, you can rebound and bounce back from your mistake that you have made and go forward and be productive. That's the best thing, when you can reach a student and grab them back so that they're not back in the judicial system once again and again and again and again. And we preach academics, we preach proactivities, the whole nine. Sometimes these kids just need things to be involved with, have that person who believes in them, have that person that supports them, and that what helps them to get through, being in the judicial system where they think everything's probably done, nobody cares, and then they bounce back, they graduate, they get their credit recovery and everything else that we deal with in the community with the kids. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe less than that. What is so rewarding about this position is when we do get the kids that are hard to get in school, that's been out for several months, and we get them back in school. And I appreciate District 150's variety of online schools, game changers. We have so many alternative schools, and so that they are able to do it one way or the other. And so it's opened up some Knoxville Center, I can't leave them out. It has opened up so many ways for kids to come back and actually complete. I'm talking about kids who may have been out of school for 2 years. With credit recovery and things like that, we let them know, oh no, you still can make it. So they usually think they can't. But when you show them the all the different ways that they can come back, they see that, oh, we can do it. So that's very rewarding.
More education, less crime.
Mine keeps going down too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, team. You're amazing. And I remember when Coach Dr. Booth said, Doc, I have an idea I want to run by you. I'm like, let's do it. And it's just expanded. It started off at high school, right? And then the need was so great, we had to go down to the middle school. So thank you, team. Amazing. And then the last one is the runner-up for the team award, and it's Goodwill Teen Reach program. They help, they're at Harold B. Dawson, and they said Teen Reach makes the school a wonderful place to be. The staff works hard to develop positive relationships with families, often listening to them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. They also provide tutoring to students, which helps with their academics, and also after-school programs as well. Often, the program works to make sure that our students have transportation home from after-school activities. They take them on field trips, and again, helping them. We've heard that theme, being a contributing member of society, successful contributing member of society. The individual who recommended the Goodwill Teen Reach program said, I believe that staff has a true calling to help students as they often take care of them and pay attention to them. They attend their basketball games and they go to all of their other activities. They visit students not only outside work activities, but also during the school day as well, to help build positive relationships with them. And so that makes the program very, very successful. So it sounds like, you guys are just doing everything for the kids, from tutoring to encouraging them, visiting games, and all of the other things that you do. So here you are. So let's congratulate the Goodwill Teen Reach program for being named runner-up. Team of the Year. Is the principal here? He's not here, so you guys are troopers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit, just quickly, who was the speaker, the keynote,
I guess it'll be me. Yep. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm only really used to speaking to middle schoolers. So I'm Amber Shekowitz. I am the Teen Reach Program Coordinator. I'm here with Lindsay Gravemeyer, the Program Manager, and then Robin Brown, who is our Youth Program Specialist. We have a bunch of people that are not here tonight. Laura Bischler, she is our Good Guides Program Coordinator, and then Juliette Santos is, she's our WIOA caseworker, and then she's also worked with us. Basically, I was hired August 17th, 2021, and our program was up and running August 23rd, 2021. So because of all that and the groundwork that Lindsay laid, we were able to go into the school and start working immediately with the kids. There was a huge need in the community for after-school care, and I'm very proud that it is free to our students based on all the grants that Lindsay writes, and as well as Goodwill Industries of Central Illinois. We do so much with the kids. We take them on field trips. It's much more than an after-school program because we do spend all of that time in the summer taking them on break field trips and things like that. The activities that we do, we provide life skills lessons, tutoring, STEM activities, but much more than that. We just provide them with a space to be who they are and then build relationships with them and their families. I don't know if Lindsay wants to say anything, but that's basically, that's who we are, and we're very lucky and proud of all the kids that we serve.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. It's now time for district presentations. The final audit presentation. Mr. Willis, would you like to introduce?
Adam Pulley is sick and could not be here tonight, but physically, but he is online. And Adam, if you're listening, you can review your slide, which is up on our screen at the moment.
How is my volume?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Mick. And I apologize I couldn't be there in person, but thank you for allowing me to call in. You may recall at the end of January, I presented, we'll call them draft or findings at the time that we knew about. So now that we are all completed with the engagement, just wanted to provide a brief update on what had changed since that end of January meeting. So first and foremost, the very top of this screen, at the end of the day, we did issue unmodified, or in other words, clean audit opinions over the financial statements, as well as the single audit report and the AFR in relation to those financial statements. Now, there were 5 total findings that we had come across in totality. The first 2 here, 2022-001 and 002, audit adjustments and bank reconciliations, respectively. You may recall these were ones that we did know about and reported on, or presented, I should say, back in January. What's added there in blue is the responses to these findings, or the corrective action plans that the district management, district finance team provided, just so that you have that knowledge there. I'm not going to go back over those. I did want to touch on the 3, call them new findings, that came up since that January timeframe. And each of these findings relate to the single audit, which is the testing over federal grant compliance. So I'll start there towards the bottom with finding number 3, which is over the ESSER grant. We tested a total of 40 non-payroll items as well as 40 payroll items. We did not note any issues with the 40 payroll. With the non-payroll, there were 5 of these 40 items that we tested that did not have documented evidence that we were able to audit and ensure that there was proper approval for that cost. The district asserted that those approvals did occur, but there was no documentation of it, so there was no way for us to audit that did in fact take place. One of those 5 items did not have support for the cost at all. And it is worth noting that each of those 5 items within the 40 all related to P card transactions. So, I mean, the district finance department would do a better job of explaining the response, but really, obviously, it is around the P card process and making sure that there are reviews and approvals over everything, and also that there is documentation on those. That's something that we would be looking for going forward. Go to the next slide. Thank you. Similarly, finding number 4. This is in the Title I program. I just rolled up payroll and non-payroll in total. So in total, we tested 80 items, 11 of which, again, lacked documented evidence that proper approval occurred for the cost. One of those 11 did not have support for the cost at all that we could audit. Further details with these 11 items. One of the 11 related to a payroll item. The time and effort for approval for the wages was not there. And then the remaining 10 items, once again, had to do with the use of P card and P card transactions. So the response is certainly similar to finding number 3. Lastly, finding number 5, going back to the ESSER grant. As part of federal grant compliance, if the district is using federal dollars to purchase things like equipment with certain grants, the federal government requires that those equipment items are tagged or basically tracked as federal grant inventory. So of the 21 items that we tested during the year, 4 of them did not have that tracking or evidence of that. And so we had to note that as a finding, and that all seemed to pertain to the fine arts department. And once again, there's a response noted there that the district is addressing. Really, that's all I had that I wanted to update the board on since we last met in January. I don't know if there's anything that anybody wanted to add, or if anybody had any questions at all on those items.
Board members have any questions? No questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Pulley.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Get back over here. Okay, where are we? We are now at the point of presentation by audience. Good evening. Before we begin the public comment portion of the board meeting, I want to take a moment to read a reminder to everyone here this evening. This is first and foremost a board meeting held for the purpose of conducting school district business. It is not a town hall meeting, but a meeting to conduct business. Each speaker is given 5 minutes to address the board. Comments may be made on almost any matter related to the operations of the school. Each person appearing before the board will be treated with courtesy and respect, and the board requests the same in return. In light of the privacy of personnel and student matters, commenters are strongly discouraged from speaking about individual staff or students during public comments. Commenters are instead encouraged to first raise their concerns privately with the board president or administration. The board, however, recognizes each commenter's First Amendment rights. Thus, it will not prohibit commenters from speaking about individual staff or students, subject to well recognized exceptions. The first person we have is Mr. Dan Wilder.
Good evening, Board. I think I'm the only one that turned in a card, so I'm asking for 15 minutes. I'm kidding. Yeah, my name is Dan Walther.
5 minutes.
Many of you know I'm a former board member. And not too many months ago, I ran for the board and lost by 14 votes, but who's counting? One of the silver linings of losing that election was that I was able to substitute in this district. And at this point, I have been probably at about 80% of the schools in the district, anywhere from Valeska Hinton to all the high schools to the middle schools. And it's been enlightening to see that. I think one of the things we don't give enough credit to is to our teachers and support staff, how hard they work in the schools these days. And until you're actually in the school all day with those teachers and with those support staff, you really don't have a true appreciation of what they do. I remember I've been on several committees when I was on the school board. One of them was the policy committee with Mr. Wilson. And Greg, being the diplomat he is, he said, Mr. Walther, if you have an issue that you want to bring up, he says, let me approach Mrs. Ross because you two don't always get along and it would probably be better coming from me than coming from you. So that may not help my request tonight. What I'm basically requesting you to do is I'm speaking on the issue of number 15. You have on your proposal under your consent agenda granting 3-year contracts to the central administrators. There's just a handful of those. A couple of years ago, we discussed the possibility of anybody who is a central administrator that got an extended contract, it's a 3-year contract, which is what you're proposing now, that they be required to live in the district. If that was applied now, over half of them already do. Mr. Willis does, or a number of people that do. So my request to the board is, I think you should table it for tonight, have a discussion, a meaningful discussion from the school board here at another night to discuss. There is no urgency to have this thing done now. And I think there are other school districts, Springfield, Decatur, a number of others, that this requirement is in place for other people. So what we're asking you to consider is not something that is unusual. The other thing I'd like to point out is that even if you do pass this thing tonight or another night and stuff with it, I would also recommend that every one of these central administrators, including the superintendent, be required to substitute 1 day a semester so that there is a reconnection of what's going on with the schools that are out there. I think a lot of people have been away from the schools for a long time. I was at Glen Oak the other day. I saw one of our board members come through there, and it was good to see him here. There is one other recommendation I'm going to make, and this may trip me over the other wire, but I think Dr. Ike is one of the three that recommended for this multi-year thing. My recommendation would be that he not be extended a contract. Any HR director who refuses to enforce a sexual harassment charge and has an employee that had to get an order of protection in order to come to work should not be in this position. I realize he may be afraid of his job, but he is required to do that, and he's not doing that. The custodian who sexually harassed the secretary and threatened another employee with shooting her husband, to this day, nothing has happened to that employee. The lack of accountability is a negative issue on this administration and school board, especially when the employee says he is protected by Mrs. Ross. So far, he's right. He's still here, and there's been no justice for what his behavior has been. A couple of meetings ago, I brought up issues of safety, and Dr. Karat said in a number of meetings ago that Mrs. Ross was very concerned about school safety. And my question is, have we had any increase in the number of SROs that can carry firearms? Presently, it's only the high schools that do that. When I've had this discussion before, I had two words, Sandy Hook. Those were all kindergarten and first grade people, and I think they deserve as much protection as the high school kids. I also think we are in need of additional SROs in the district with or without arms. And my last comment is that any board member who turns in a petition with a number of dead people on it collected should not be on the school board. I guess we'll have to leave that up to the voters. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
We don't have any response, right? We don't need to have any. Evidently, it doesn't do any good to read a statement. Okay, that is the only comment we had tonight. Moving on, approval of the minutes from February 27th, 2023.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the minutes? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Banking? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 7 ayes. Motion carries.
Thank you. On the information items, superintendent's update.
Thank you, President Ross and Board. I'll be very brief, and Vice President Murphy as well. Just intercession blurb from March 27th through the 31st. Kindergarten students in kindergarten through 12th grade have registered for spring intercession. I think we have about a little less than 600 who are enrolled for intercession during that time, March 27th. They'll be engaged in project-based learning, STEM activities, drones, coding. It should be a lot of fun, reading and math support, field trips, interdisciplinary units, and more. Students will be based in one of 5 hubs. We will provide transportation, we'll provide breakfast, and we'll provide lunch. The high school group, each high school will host its own site, and they will invite students based on credit recovery opportunities for them to stay on track to graduate and to keep pace with their freshman cohort. So spring intercession is an opportunity for students to enrich their learning through small group and hands-on activities. So just wanted to give the board and the public an idea of what will happen in the K-8 setting and also the high school setting as well. And then just quickly, you may have seen some advertisement of our schools. I have the wrong thing, but it's our schools that have made commendable, like we're really proud and wanted to, we really wanted to encourage the staff and administrators of that building for their hard work and the progress that they've made. So for example, you'll see little advertisements around town, whether it's billboard signs or electronic signs. For example, manual, I've seen a lot of manuals
celebration and commendable sign being shared on Facebook. I think there were hundreds of shares for that one. So they went from, the bottom and they jumped to become a commendable school. So Manual is a commendable school. Franklin is a commendable school, went through the same process as well. And it's all the hard work of staff and the kids and their families, that entire unit, just staying really focused and fulfilling the requirements, whether it's attendance, improvement in mathematics, improvement in reading, there are a variety of criteria to get them to that designation. And there are 4 designations. The highest is exemplary, the next one is commendable, underneath that it's targeted, and then comprehensive. So we've had three buildings that have jumped from the bottom comprehensive to commendable, and Harold B. Dawson is also another school, the 3rd school. Manual, Franklin, and Harold B. Dawson have jumped from comprehensive level to commendable level. So we wanted to celebrate them and encourage them and thank them and let the community know that as well. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. And of course, we do have 2 exemplary schools. We have Reservoir and Charter Oak. And also kudos to Mrs. Rodriguez, the principal of Charter Oak. She has been selected as a finalist from the Golden Apple program, and it's very, very rigorous. And there were 130 applicants. I believe they've narrowed it down to 6. So she's representing Peoria, the city of Peoria. She's a great candidate. We believe that she has a very good chance of getting very far in that process. So congratulations to Charter Oak and Mrs. Rodriguez and her families and her kids and all of her staff. So that's my update. I ad-lib for the last one. I think I got it. Thank you, President Ross.
Thank you, Mrs. Ross. Year-to-date revenue totals $172.4 million. Year-to-date expenditures total $158.6 million. Typically, through the entire month of March, we receive about 59% of our revenue for the year. Of course, we're not all the way through March, but so far we're at about 57% of our revenue for the year, partway through March. On the spending side, through the entire month of March, we usually spend 66% of our budget. Again, we're just partway through March, but we're sitting at about 57% of our spending. So we, as in past months, continue to outperform budget, and we'll continue to keep you apprised throughout the rest of the year.
Any questions of Mr. Willis? Expenditures over $2,500. Okay. Report of request under the Freedom of Information Act and status of such request.
Thank you, President Ross. And so, board meeting on February 27th, we've received 4 new requests. Of those new requests, 2 have been closed. There were 0 pending requests on February 27th. And so to date, of those, there's 2 requests currently open, as I mentioned. And we have received for the entire year 65 requests at a cost of $3,250,000. Thank you. $3,250,000. Thank you.
Dollars, not 250,000.
Thank you, right.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is the action items consent agenda. Vice President Murphy.
Thank you, President Ross. Number 1, gifts to school district, year-to-date, $78,374.42. Number 2, payment of bills. Number 3, payment for travel. Number 4, the human resources report. Call to attention the addendum document on the HR report, which has the companion resolutions. The proposed action, motion to approve resolution for the dismissal of first, second, or third-year probationary teachers for reasons other than reduction in force. Proposed action, motion to approve resolution for the dismissal of fourth-year probationary teacher for reasons other than reduction in force. Number 5, Richwoods High School United Nations Conference overnight trip. Number 6, overnight field trip approval, Reservoir Gifted Student Council State Convention. Number 7, overnight field trip approval, Mark Bills Middle School Science Fair participants in the Illinois Junior Academy of Science 2023 State Science Exposition. Number 8, Richwoods High School Tennis Tournament overnight trip. Number 9, Richwoods High School Tennis Tournament overnight trip. Number 10, field trip approval, Reservoir Gifted 8th grade class trip. Number 11, field trip approval, Glen Oak, Tree Win, and Manual 21st Century Grant Program students. Number 12, first reading for approval of intergovernmental agreement with Peoria Educational Region for employment and career training. Number 13, Peoria High Roofing Project. Number 14, Valeska Hinton Roofing Project. Number 15, Administrative Contract Approval. Number 16, IHSA Membership Renewal. And number 17, Approval of E-rate contract vendors for connectivity, the C1, and UPS switches C2 for the USAC 2023-2024 funding year. And that is the end of the consent agenda.
Are there any numbers on the consent agenda that any board member would like to pull for a separate vote?
15.
I'm sorry,
1-5.
others? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second for all items except number 15? Any comments or questions regarding any of the items other than item 15? Okay, thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Rankin? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, motion carries.
Item 15, Mr. Claus.
Just wondering where we're at with the policy committee. With what
You
we
have to
talked
make
about
a
last time.
motion in a second on that one. Want to make a motion in a second on that one. You pulled it.
We just talked about it.
Yeah, but you pulled it, so you have to have a motion in a second and then talk about it.
No, we can discuss now.
Okay.
So, as a member of the policy committee, we were unable to meet before today's board meeting. So it has not been discussed yet. We just got the kind of proposed policy or a policy that we're going to work with. And me and Paris have our policy meeting on
22nd.
22nd, where that will be discussed.
May I add something too?
Sure.
I don't think that with the policy that we need to tie it to this contract. Because the policy is one thing and there's a lot of legal ramifications with that if we're going to do the board. So I think for us to hold this contract for a vote, waiting on the policy, we need to separate those actions.
I think they were separate. Yes,
I
Dr.
have a question. It was my understanding, and Cami may know, or other people, or we could go back and look at the video if we don't have the notes yet, is that we voted last meeting. I know not everyone was here, but we voted last meeting to wait for the policy to come forth before we voted on an administrative contract.
No, it was just, no, it wasn't that. We just said that we would, for us to vote on changing that contract, it would have to go to the policy if we wanted to just change the terms of it. But that we could vote on the contract. It's not It is not pending on the policy change. We just had to separate it. We could not vote on it with those items that were attached to it just because it was not district policy. And so some kind of way, you guys have merged it, but it never should have been. Policy is one thing, and this contract is something separate.
Other comments? You don't need to. Okay. Other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion and a second
Vote.
to vote for number 15, administrative contracts?
And I so move for us to vote on the contract.
It's been moved in second. Any other comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus? Mr. Claus?
No.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Ranking?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 5 ayes, 2 nays. Motion carries.
Okay. Under the deliberation policy, number 6:230, library media program. Policy committee want to talk about that, or just introduce it? Proposed action.
I'll let you or Dr. Ike or Jen, if you want to explain that.
Yes, an old policy that we're replacing the press version.
Any questions on that policy, library media program? Okay, so it sounds like it's an old policy just being updated. As we get the policies from the state, a lot of people don't know, a lot of these policies come from the state, and we have to look at them and update ours or make them conducive to how we could use them here. So that's probably one of them. No questions? Would you please call the roll? I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved in second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Ranking?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 7 ayes. Motion carries.
Expulsions with expulsions held in abeyance. Dr. Rankin, did you?
We propose that the Board of Education approve expulsion with the expulsion to be held in abeyance listed as the reported date, March 13th, 2023, be approved as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on this particular issue? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Ranking?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 7 ayes. Motion carries.
Number 20, expulsions.
We propose that the Board of Education approve expulsion listed on the report dated March 13th, 2023, be approved as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Ranking? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
7 ayes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Presentations and suggestions by board members. Seeing none. Report from board committees. I hear you say the policy committee will be meeting on the 22nd.
The policy committee will be meeting on March 22nd at 5:30.
5:30.
5:30, March 22nd.
Building and Grounds will be meeting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 8:30
a.m.
a.m.
Any other committee meetings? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. We're adjourned.